good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, or what time of the day, night you're watching this program. Welcome to the KOJ Productions. KOJ Production, the YouTube channel that bring you content of current events and also content to stimulate the mind, stimulate the brains, to make you think. This is KOJ Production. KOJ Production, it's a non-political entity, not aligned with any political parties nowhere in the world, or affiliated with any, I would say, group or fractions. This is an independent broadcast, one that, from my observation, I feel as a citizen of the world, I am qualified to speak on things that I see that affect humanity across the globe. I'm not speaking for no fraction or people to say. I'm just speaking the things that I saw and what I realized that we need to do to make an improvement to humanity. I speak about the injustice across the board, across the world, and the status that has been shown to certain ethnicity, which I think is unfair. You know, when we categorize people as first world and third world, which is a derogatory term for classify a person as a third world person. What is a third world? When did the third world created? Who created the third world? And why there is a third world? These are the questions that I ask and never able to get the answer that satisfied me, really, because there are no third world people. We all are human beings. God created one world, one people, and we all should be able to enjoy the fullness. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, and they that dwell therein. You know, so we see a lot of people today align themselves with political fractions and speaking for political leaders and party. I'm one that does not speak for political fractions and political party. I'm not aligned with no political party nowhere on the earth. I am one that I believe that my fundamental belief is one with the Creator. I believe that human being should be treated with respect and dignity across the globe, no matter what your ethnicity, no matter what your race, your language, your nationality. I believe that we all are one pertaining to the human race, and that there should be justice and freedom for all mankind across the globe. And anyone that does not speak for freedom and unity, I cannot align myself with you, because the world today, everyone wants peace. Peter Touch, that song resonates with me very much. Everyone wants peace, but no one wants justice. And we're living in a time when people don't seek for justice. So people don't understand that we should be treated fairly across the globe, no matter what your ethnicity, no matter who you are. We all should be treated fairly. And there's no fairness, you know, where the world is concerned. We have all these so-called humanitarian groups that, you know, advocate for one-sided justice. And one-sided justice cannot work. You know, one set of people must be treated fair across the globe, and the other side must not be treated fairly. And to me, that doesn't resonate well with my spirit. So I'm calling on people across the globe. It is time for us to stand up and to speak truth to power to these political leaders and the political entities that believe that they just can come around every 4 or 5 years and fool people and have no thought or consideration of human dignity. And it is time for us as African people across the globe to realize that it is time for Africa to unite. Africans are home and abroad, wherever you may be. Look at the treatment of the black people in Australia, in America, in Europe, all over the globe, even in Africa. So we see that it is time for a united front and to cut out the political nonsense that we think that we should be rival to every other faction. You know, look what is going on globally. You got to see the thing globally. You know, and not in your little corner of the globe. What is happening? What is happening around the world? You know, racism is on its rise. It's never been dulled down for a minute, but we see that the machine is grinding more and more and more and more. We need justice all over the world. Justice in Palestine, justice in South Africa, justice in Africa, period. Look what's going on in Haiti right now. Haiti become a failed state. Haiti is a failed state. You know, Caribbean and African leaders, it is time for the Caribbean and the African leaders to work together in unity for the betterment, because nobody else is working for the betterment of black people. As long as we are slave and we see ourselves that way, you know, nobody is going to take up your cause. Nobody is going to take up our cause. We have to take up our own cause. You know, right here in the United States, we see the injustice in the different communities. Look at in the different schools. Certain schools that in certain neighborhood get proper funding and have elaborate programs for the kids to excel. Certain schools in certain neighborhood don't get the same amount of funding, don't get the same amount of attention. So many dilapidated schools in certain neighborhood, and we all just sit back and relax and said, oh, that's the way it have to go. And then when these politicians ready, they come around and they get our votes and we vote, and we align ourselves with party. I as a young man, I see the devastation of aligning self with one party and think that one party is better than the other. I saw that as a young man. I was born in Jamaica, and I saw where Labour Right and PNP wrecked the country because of political rivalry and faction, because people align themselves with the political party instead of aligning themselves with the country. When you align yourself with, you're not proud of your country, but you're proud of your political party, I've seen the damage. I've seen the recklessness of politicians. I've seen the carelessness of politicians. I've seen people burning down people's house, shooting people, chopping up people because they vote for a political party, and both sides of the fence. You understand? Once, but Jamaica was a peaceful place. I remember when I was a little boy growing up, nobody locked their door. Nobody ever scared, no nothing, until when the political arena be broadened with these foreign factions getting to it, and people telling that you can only align yourself with this and align yourself with that, and they supply guns and things and turn the country upside down. I've seen it in my lifetime. I know what I'm talking about. You understand? And when we as black people continue to fool ourselves that some savior, a person of a certain political arena or whatever is going to come along and save us, and it doesn't work. We have to take it upon ourselves and start it little by little to change the narrative for us. Change the narrative for us. When a person asks for your vote, demand what you're going to do for us as a people, not for me as an individual, because we boil things down to the individual, and once we start to think individually, it makes a difference. Not individually. We have to get things to the point where, in general, what are you going to do for us as a people, as a nation, as a country? Too many times we see all these craziness going on across the globe, and we think nothing of it. Look what is going on down there in Palestine right now. You know, every child need love. Every child need food. Every child, don't matter if you're white, you're black, whatever ethnicity, and the world become insensitive to certain race of people if it's a non-white child been murdered. Oh, it's just another one. But what about when it's a white child being murdered? It's like the world should come to a full stop. No, the same love and interest that you should put in one, you should put it in the other. The world become insensitive to the exploit of human, you know, and I see so many people only care about people when they die, but while they're alive, no one really care. Because a person would say, "Oh, I only want your soul to be right." Is your soul right? How can your soul be right when you're hungry? How can your soul be right when you're starving, when you're sleeping in the rain, when you're shelterless? We have to treat human being with dignity and with respect across the globe. Then we can introduce our religion, but we're forcing this religious thing, and people don't even care about how human beings live. My concern is how human beings live. In the present, the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, and they that dwell therein. John said, "Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper, even as a soul prospers, and you be in good health." You know, let's uplift the living condition of people in Africa. Let's live the people in Africa. Let's bring up the living standard. People in the Caribbean, Latin America, even people here in the United States. There are many people here in the United States that's going through a lot of neglect by the political arena, and yet still nobody here seems to be willing to do the things about it. You know, my mama used to tell me this. She said, son, learn to dance at home before you go abroad. And this is the way that she put it, said, learn to dance a yard before you go abroad. And what we see is a lot of dancing abroad, but no dancing here at home. You know what I mean? To fix the condition for, the living condition for the people that is here in the different community, to develop the different communities, but yet still we have enough money to spend on war machine. We spend trillions of dollars in Afghanistan, not billions, but trillions of dollars, billions of dollars been spending all over the world for war, but yet still we cannot spend a few million here to make the living condition of human being better. You see, we have to come to the realization that we need better living condition here. Better roads, better bread, schools, the infrastructure, develop and repaired. Go on before we can go abroad, spending the money. Where is Africa? Leaders also, wake up. African leaders, Caribbean leaders, wake up. African leaders, where is your military base in America? I would like some African leaders to tell me, where is the African military base in America, or in the Caribbean, or in Europe? Then how comes America have military base all over Africa? Where is the military base from any African state or country, what you want to call it? Because Africa is one continent, one country. Africa is one country. When I refer to Africa, I'm not talking about a particular state. I'm talking about the continent, because Africa was one country before the white man chop it up and turn it into what he want to turn it into. Which African country have a military base in the Caribbean, in Latin America, and in Europe? Then how comes France and everybody else, Italy and all these countries, have a military base in Africa? And these African leaders, stop selling out your people. Stop selling out your people. Stop selling out your people. Because whenever these countries finish with you, they always either assassinate you or put you in prison. Stop selling out your people. And so why in 2023 we don't have a straight flight from the Caribbean to Africa, or Africa to the Caribbean? Why every African so-called country don't have an embassy in all the Caribbean islands, and the Caribbean islands have an embassy, creating diplomatic relationship between Africa and the Caribbean in 2023. Going into 2024, what you guys plan to do for the betterment of the people of your country that you govern? Oftentimes I say this. I said, any Caribbean leader or African leaders who in power for a long time and cannot build a proper hospital so that when that leader of that country is sick, you don't have to go to France or England or America or Canada to gain medical treatment. If you're in power for any long time and you don't have the best staff in your hospital, the best equipment, one of the best facilities that when you're sick, you can be treated there. And then when you're sick, you want to run to another foreign country. The citizen should hold you there and say, listen, Leah, you're going to die here because you're not flying out to another place to go to get medical treatment. Because if you're in a power for any length of time, you should make sure you set the infrastructure so that you can have a proper hospital. So that when you're sick, you can be taken care of. When your people sick, they can be taken care of. Going into the future, man, let us think different. You see, let us free our mindset and stop thinking like a slave. And we have to do the bidding of the master. Whatever the master said, that's what you have to do. Let's figure out ways that we can work for the betterment of our people. No African country should allow another country to have a military base in your country if you cannot have a military base in their country. It's like a diplomatic relationship. Why would you want an embassy in your country, but you cannot put an embassy in their country? And another thing, you Caribbeans and African leaders, any country that requires a visa to get to your country, anyone coming to your country, don't matter who, could be the president of that country, coming to your country, you should require of them to get a visa also. You see, we got to go into the modern world and treat people like how people treat you. I reached a stage in life that I will not respect a person that don't respect me. I don't care who you be. You have no respect for me, I have none for you. You show me respect, then I'll be willing to show you the same respect. You got no respect for me, I got no respect for you. I have no time to speak good of no person that can never speak good of people of my ethnicity, because you don't know me personal and I don't know you personal. But I am a black man, and I speak as a black man to the things that I see across the globe. One that able to travel the world and to see different things in the world, and to see how people live different places in the world. And I know that life can be better for us across the board if when we make deals that not only going to be benefit for me, but we got to think across the board. We got to understand it is time for us to recognize that we need to be treated with fairness just like any other people, any other ethnicity. And leaders, stop signing on to things. When there's a country asks you to sign on to an embargo or a sanction on another country that is in the same predicament as yourself, first ask that person, who is this going to help? Whose children is going to die from this embargo? Whose children is going to suffer from this sanction? Why should I sign on to this? Who will it be benefited to? Why should I sign on to it? And if you not satisfied with what is right, don't sign on to something just because the master says to sign it. You have to sign it. It is time for us to think of the betterment of humanity. I've traveled the globe and I've seen poverty. I know what it is. Right? I've seen poverty. I know what it is. And I know it is by design. And if it is by design, we can undesign it. Stop seeing yourself as third world. Third world is a derogatory, racist stamp that placed upon certain people of certain ethnicity and certain areas. Get out of the third world mindset. And you people that think that you are first world, so you're better than people, get off your high ass. What we are seeing for the future is the betterment of mankind. We're looking towards the betterment of mankind. Fairness across the board. A decent wage for honest day's work. And lazy people that don't think that they should work. If a man don't work, he shouldn't eat. An honest day work for a decent wage, a living wage. Why should a man work for a week and then after you finish working for a week, the pay can't even buy 2-night dinner? It doesn't make no sense. What sense does that make? A living wage, living condition. We have to get things in perspective. We want to see a change in the world, in the globe, betterment for all mankind. We want to see the betterment of humanity. So you leaders out there that making deals, when you're making deals, making the deals that will benefit your people. As I say, this is KOJ. I am not aligned with no political party. I'm not aligned with no religious group, no fractions. I am not on no man's side. I am on God's side. I align myself with righteousness. I am on God's side. I'm not no political party I have affiliation with. Because when I examine most of the political party that I see, it's all for the one cause, not for the betterment of humanity. It's for the development and the betterment of their own agenda. Peace out. This is KOJ. Let it be said. Take a rightful stand. I am on God's side. Let it be said that we're ready to take this thing to another level. Peace out. Every time.
Morning, get